Okay. Sorry for the tardy. Had to I have to start doing these things more at 6:30. But I wanted to talk about a topic really quickly. You know, when you start learning about yourself, you know what I mean? When you start really understanding kind of what people are saying and kind of what the old folks mean, and you really it's almost like you just become enlightened by a lot of things. And so as I kind of switched over to the conservative movement, you can kind of go back to some of my videos if you don't know what I'm talking about. But I last year I took on a more conservative perspective about things, and I wouldn't consider myself like a super hyper conservative. I think I'm more of an urban conservative, still finding my way, still tempering my language because I have a potty mouth. Um, but I'm trying to just take more of a conservative perspective about just different arguments and things, right? So I think since I started doing that, it really started opening my eyes to like just some things that I never really thought was a big deal, or things that I found myself doing. And I can understand, why outside looking in now, why those things are inappropriate and they really don't really work to build the relationships that we want. So I was over my friend's house, and we had a play date. His brother was over, and we were all the kids were playing, and I had met his brother before. I had never met his brother's girlfriend before. And so immediately I when I meet the woman, I can kind of tell they're bickering about their daughter, their 1 year old daughter. So I kind of just, that ain't my business. So, I didn't say nothing, right? But then I felt like every time I kind of wanted to kind of walk in a room and chill, like, and him and his brother will be talking, and she's just nitpicking at anything that he says that's wrong. Like, actually, she did this, or actually, what's that, or actually, no. And, and he would stop talking to his brother to acknowledge her rudeness, like, okay, thank you. And then he would try to move on, and obviously if he was talking to all of us, he would have been looking at all of us. But I think it was just a conversation between him and his brother, and you know I don't know nothing about it, so I can't talk about it. So anyways, to move the story along, I noticed that every time I would go in, like, she would be nitpicking at this man, and you could tell this man was like a bottle of fizzy water. He was just building up, building up, building up. And so, as a woman, sort of outside looking into that situation, I started really kind of studying the dynamics between these two people, a man and a woman who have a child, and obviously they are not married, right? Now, he obviously loves the little girl. She looks exactly like the man. It's uncanny, actually. You can deny her if you wanted to. Um, and he's you can tell that the adornment is, the love is definitely with the little girl, but for the mother there is a clear disdain for the mother. Oh, did I lose Wi-Fi? I just saw my Wi-Fi come back. But for the mother, there's a clear disdain. He can't, he didn't seem to care for the woman. And as I examined their interaction throughout, that play date, which we were there for about, wow, at least 5 hours. Um, his brother and I, we would be talking and kind of engaging with our kids. And, you know, they continue to bicker about the child. And she continued to nitpick at this man. And if I could guess why he wasn't very crazy about her, it was probably because of that. Because I don't think that, when I look at it, I don't think a man would really want his woman nitpicking at him in public like that. And I would say even correcting him in front of other people. You know what I mean? Like, if it's something mundane as well, you know what I mean? I don't think that a woman should correct her man in public or in front of other people unless it's something really critical, obviously. Like, honey, no, like, we need to go left. Like, you know what I mean? But other, like, when you're talking about mundane storytelling and silly details, is it really sort of worth, kind of jabbing at your man about him being wrong? And I mean, as I kind of see how sensitive a lot of men are with their pride and their authority, because here's the thing. I think there's a lot of things that test a man's pride, right? Like just society, things that they perceive they're going through, things they're actually going through, bad mistakes, dealing with the consequences of poor decision making, all kinds of things riddle a man's mind and, kind of shakes him. So I can imagine having a woman that does things like that, like nitpick and correct him in front of a crowd of people, especially his family, men in his family. I'm pretty sure that will over time cause that man to have a level of disdain for his woman. And I can see where a lot of men will find that disrespectful. And I think if you are a woman who is doing that to her man, you might want to step back from yourself. And, and I think that's, a lot of my discussion is about being conscious, of the way we are. And, a lot of the discussions I facilitate is because I've made these mistakes. You know what I mean? I've made these mistakes. You know what I mean? And, I'm going to be talking about on Wednesday, just the dynamics of relationships, because here's the thing, I think women give a lot of credit to men that are not their husbands, right? And, even when you're dealing with a good guy, you definitely want to deal with somebody that has, the best intentions, but I don't think that you should be giving, like king and lion, attributes to a man that, is not your husband, right? So I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more because I want us to be conscious of these things, right? So women, ladies, as we go through this gender crisis identity and everybody's trying to find themselves, these poor men, these poor women, these poor everybody's scorned because everybody has removed God from their equations. They have removed God from their relationship, God from their individual accountability. And we live in this atheist society where, personal pleasures and self-interest is basically how we live. But getting back to it, ladies, I would encourage you to think about, if you have the habit of correcting your man in public, think about not doing that. Because, when I do listen to a lot of the arguments that a lot of these men make, I mean, I think that a lot of men are feeling like, my pride is being always tested in society. And then when I get home, my pride is being tested at home by my woman. So, when I think of being a man's piece, which I feel like men haven't really defined that, I really do believe, because several men have come and said, it means combating. I think combating your man unnecessarily, is definitely something that you don't. It seems to be a big issue that a lot of these men have. So, you want to kind of concede and be conscious, of, the things that you do that, takes his peacefulness away. And I think at the end of the day, when men say, be my peace, in my opinion, I think they're really saying, please don't take my pride away. I think that's really what these men are saying. Please don't take my pride away. And every time a woman nags a man every time a woman, puts a man on a frequency where it makes him feel beneath her, which I'm hearing from a lot of these men, I think that's when they start really feeling like, they are not peaceful, like they are in a state of war with their woman and the world. So don't correct your man in public. Let me know what you think about this. I don't know why I wear eyeliner. Let me know what you think about this. And definitely comment. Tune in on Wednesday. We will be talking about another relationship topic because I kind of like these. I mean, I think that when you talk out the things gone wrong in relationships, it really helps you to kind of fine tune your own relationship methods and kind of be better and share some strategies for people at the same time. So I am going to be talking about. No, that's not the topic I'm doing. We are going to be talking about relationships. And like I said earlier, a lot of women give men king treatment and they're only at the boyfriend status. And I want to talk about that a little deeper because here's the thing. When you have a boyfriend, should your options be closed, ladies? I want to know what you think about that. Think about it because we're going to be talking about that on Wednesday. Have a good evening.